If you're looking for settings that'll make your fill look like this, then look no further. Chapter 4 is finally here, and to start it off, we're going to be showing you guys the best controller settings to dominate your competition in this new chapter. To start off today's video, we're going to compare the two main joystick inputs, linear and exponential. These inputs basically control how your joystick movements will appear in game. While many players believe that one input is blatantly better than the other, this is far from the truth. There are tons of professional controller players that are successful on both inputs. Ever since these advanced input options were released in 2019, players have been hopping between each to see what suits them best. And that's exactly what you'll need to do. Playing on the opposite input of what you currently use will help you gain perspective on how your controller can be used. It may sound like a waste of time, but spending at least a solid hour on the input may convince you to make the change permanent. You never know. The player on the left is on linear and the right is on exponential. This goes to show how you can get absolutely cracked on each input. Aside from all that, let's get into the actual differences between linear and exponential. Exponential seems to be most popular at the moment due to its extremely strong close-range aim assist. It won't hit shots for you like Legacy did, but the aim assist increase is definitely noticeable. However, this comes with a cost. The medium and long-range aim assist is almost non-existent. This can be a deal breaker for competitive players, as getting those long-range AR tags for Storm Surge is so important, and Exponential makes that rather challenging. Aside from aiming, Exponential is rather interesting when it comes to building and editing. Many players say that building on Exponential feels like you're dragging your joysticks through mud. Obviously, there's nothing different about your physical controller, but the way your movements are registered feels delayed and sluggish. If mechanics are your top priority, Exponential probably isn't the best choice. Linear exceeds where Exponential lacks. Building and editing on linear feels smooth and true to the movements you're making. This is because linear takes your raw joystick movement without sending it through a filter. This is also why the long and medium range has some pretty strong aim assist when compared to exponential. Once again, this comes at a cost. Your close range aim assist definitely won't feel as strong as exponential, but that doesn't mean it's difficult to aim by any means. You've just got to get the feel for it. Alright, so now that we're all familiar with the differences between linear and exponential, we can finally get into the specifics regarding your sensitivity. To start things off, we're going to talk about look sensitivities. Similar to linear and exponential, there isn't a secret sensitivity that'll instantly turn you into a pro. Look sensitivities actually vary quite a bit amongst the pros. There's some who stay under 40% and there's some who push all the way upward of 70%. It all just comes down to what feels best for you and your playstyle. Oftentimes, most players find 40 to 55% range to feel the best. We'd recommend trying out 46% X and Y for linear players and 54% X and Y if you're using exponential. These sensitivities aren't considered slow, but they aren't considered fast either. It's in that middle range where you can comfortably hit your shots without feeling slow and delayed while moving around. While you may think that the higher your sensitivity is, the quicker you'll be, this really isn't true. All that playing on an overly high sensitivity will do is cause you to overflick, miss your shots, and screw up your edit plays. The only time a super high sensitivity really works is if you have top-tier joystick control, but even then, you'd still be better off on a more mid-range sense. Start off by trying out the sensitivities we recommended and make adjustments as needed. If you're serious about improving, head over to ProGuides.com where you can access all of our courses and bootcamp content for just $7.99. And if personalized coaching is more your speed, you'll get 10% off any session with any of our pros.
ProGuides, play like the pros. Yeah!
Now that we've got the look sensitivities out of the way, let's talk about your ADS or aim down sight sensitivity. With the release of Chapter 4, we received a brand new Red Eye Assault Rifle as well as the return of the classic SCAR. These weapons both shred, so you need to make sure you're on a sensitivity that you can properly control. With that being said, we're going to recommend a vertical and horizontal speed of 13. While the sensitivity is definitely on the slower side, you'll still have enough speed to track mid-air opponents and absolutely beam those on foot. Of course, this won't feel great for everyone, so make some small adjustments up and down until you find the perfect sweet spot. However, definitely stay away from anything below 10% or above 18%. These can work, but they cater too much to opposite ends of the tracking spectrum. Setting it below 10 can give you some crazy medium range tracking, but you'll struggle when your target is moving around quickly. Vice versa for anything over 18. To find the perfect sensitivity for yourself, hop into a creative aim training map. Start off with the 13% we recommended and run a few different drills from a variety of ranges. You'll quickly notice whether you need to increase or decrease your sensitivity in just a few minutes. Alright, Fortnite fam, it's time for the question of the day. What is your favorite new weapon in Chapter 4? Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Alright, now it's time for arguably the most important part of your sensitivity, your build and edit mode multipliers. No matter what you set your look sensitivity to, you can use your build and edit mode multipliers to cater towards your playstyle. For Chapter 4, we're gonna recommend a 2.1 multiplier for both building and editing. This is right smack in the middle between a low and high sense. With a sensitivity like this, you'll be able to build and edit rather quickly while still having enough control to remain consistent. However, keep in mind that this setting is multiplying your look sensitivity. Playing on 40% look with a 2.1 multiplier would be drastically different from a 60% look with the same 2.1 multiplier. So make sure to make the proper adjustments so you're not too slow but not too fast. Once again, this may not feel the best for everyone, so feel free to make some adjustments to cater towards your playstyle. Players who play with smooth and controlled playstyle will typically hover around 1.8 to 2.0, and those who play at a more fast pace usually prefer 2.3 to 2.6 range. While there definitely are some successful players who turn this all the way up to the 3s, we wouldn't recommend it. It requires near perfect joystick control and just isn't practical for 99% of you guys, not even most of the pros.
Not strong enough. But you can be with the help of ProGuides.
Speaking of pros, head over to ProGuides.com where you can get personalized coaching from any of our pros for 10% off, along with access to all our courses and bootcamp content for just $7.99. To wrap up the sensitivity section, we're gonna go over dead zones. Your dead zone is basically an imaginary circle diameter around your joystick. Your joystick movement will only register once the joystick breaks the defined dead zone area. The higher your dead zone is, the larger the circle becomes. If your dead zone is on the lower side, you'll have more freedom with micro adjustments at the expense of accidental movements. On the other hand, a higher dead zone will be more forgiving with accidental movements but will make micro adjustments near impossible. The general rule of thumb we like to follow is setting your dead zone as low as you possibly can without experiencing any stick drift. Ideally, you should set your dead zone anywhere from 6 to 10%. 8 and 9 seem to be most common, but we prefer 6 or 7. The problem is that most controllers, especially Xbox, don't have the most durable joystick technology. PS4 and PS5 controllers usually won't have any issues with stick drift, at least while it's somewhat new. Well, that wraps things up for today, Fortnite fam. Did you enjoy the video? Be sure to leave a like and ring that bell to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest tips and tricks we have to offer. Also, feel free to leave a comment and let us know if there's anything you would be interested in learning more about. Remember guys, your controller settings are what will make or break your potential to improve in this game. Consider our recommendations and make any adjustments you see being beneficial. Once again, my name is Galvanize and I'll see you in our next video here at ProGuides.